Your teenage daughter gets top marks in school, captains the debate team, and volunteers at a shelter for homeless people. But while driving the family car, she text messages her best friend and rear-ends another vehicle. How can teens be so clever, accomplished, and responsible, and reckless at the same time? Easily, according to two physicians at Children's Hospital Boston and Harvard Medical School, HMS, who have been exploring the unique structure and chemistry of the adolescent brain. The teenage brain is not just an adult brain with fewer miles on it, says Francis E. Jensen, a professor of neurology. It's a paradoxical time of development. These are people with very sharp brains, but they're not quite sure what to do with them. In animals, movement is coordinated by a cluster of neurons in the spinal cord called the central pattern generator, CPG. This produces signals that drive muscles to contract rhythmically in a way that produces running or walking, depending on the pattern of pulses. A simple signal from the brain instructs the CPG to switch between different modes, such as going from a standstill to walking. Now that doesn't mean that plainness is the only good style, or that you should become a slave to spare, unadorned writing. Formality and ornateness have their place, and in competent hands complexity can carry us on a dizzying, breathtaking journey. But most students, most of the time, should strive to be sensibly simple, to develop a baseline style of short words, active verbs, and relatively simple sentences conveying clear actions or identities. It's faster. It makes arguments easier to follow. It increases the chances a busy reader will bother to pay attention, and it lets you focus more attention on your moments of rhetorical flourish, which I do not advise deserting altogether. University science is now in real crisis, particularly the non-telegenic, non-ology bits of it such as chemistry. Since 1996, 28 universities have stopped offering chemistry degrees, according to the Royal Society of Chemistry. The society predicts that as few as 6 departments, those at Durham, Cambridge, Imperial, UCL, Bristol and Oxford, could remain open by 2014. Most recently, Exeter University closed down its chemistry department, blaming it on market forces, and Bristol took in some of the refugees. The closures have been blamed on a fall in student applications, but money is a factor. Chemistry degrees are expensive to provide, compared with English, for example, and some scientists say that the way the government concentrates research funding on a small number of top departments, such as Bristol, exacerbates the problem. Sportswomen records are important and need to be preserved. And if the paper records don't exist, we need to get out and start interviewing people, not to put too fine a point on it, while we still have a chance. After all, if the records aren't kept in some form or another, then the stories are lost too. Surely, reality is what we think it is. Reality is revealed to us by our experiences. To one extent or another, this view of reality is one many of us hold, if only implicitly. I certainly find myself thinking this way in day-to-day life. It's easy to be seduced by the face nature reveals directly to our senses. Yet, in the decades since first encountering Camus test, I've learned that modern science tells a very different story. By 2025, government experts say, America's skies will swarm with 3 times as many planes, and not just the kind of traffic flying today. There will be thousands of tiny jets, seating 6 or fewer, at airliner altitudes, competing for space with remotely operated drones that need help avoiding mid-air collisions, and with commercially operated rockets carrying satellites and tourists into space.